There's a reason Australia loves Israel as a state, not the people. I feel like, we've got a lot in common. Both countries are very young. Australia's only a couple hundred years old. Israel, 76 years old. Very young, 76. There are people that have lived in Israel longer than Israel has lived in Palestine. Well, that is very young. Both countries, Australia and Israel, both have a lot of white people in very hot places. So they're obviously indigenous to the land. And both countries, Australia and Israel, were formed off the back of some pretty genocidal mantras. Australia started off the back of terra nullius, which means nobody's land. Israel, a land without a people, for a people without a land. So both countries, colonizers just rocked up, all like, oh, well, there's nobody here. There's absolutely nobody here. And then they proceeded to kill absolutely nobody and steal their land and start their countries. That's another similarity. And also both countries, Australia, Israel, wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the British. Before the British came to Palestine in 1917, who was there? Just Palestinians, Muslims, Christians, Jews, just all hanging out, eating hummus and couscous or whatever. And then the British rocked up, just took over the place, and they renamed it British Mandate Palestine, which sounds like something Elon Musk would name his kid. And the locals were furious. They were like, hey, Britain, you can't just keep taking over countries, all right? British were like, don't worry about it. We've got a plan. And they were like, what's your plan? They put out a letter. There's a letter called the Balfour Declaration, which the British government sent to an investment banker named Lord Rothschild. And they said, in this letter, we commit to creating a homeland for the Jewish people. The Palestinians are like, oh, sick. Where are you going to do that? And they're like, here, actually. Palestinians like, we're already here. And the British are like, yes, well, we have dibs it now. Dibs, like the first day of school when you run in and you throw your bag on a seat and you're like, that's my desk now. And the Palestinians like, you can't just give away something that you just stole. That's like giving away a car that you just stole, Britain. And the British were like, interesting analogy. But no, we are not giving away the whole car. We're not doing Australia again. We are merely going to give away most of your car, but you will still have your wheel, but it'll be around your neck, and over time it'll get tighter and tighter, suffocating and killing most of you. But don't worry about that minor detail. It's a minor detail. Trust me, we're the British, baby. This is what we do everywhere we go. The natives are like, oh my God, Britain, do it again. That was so much fun. Do it again. Do it again. You don't believe me? All right, well, speak to the Indians yourself. Here, speak to the Indians. The Indians are like, don't trust these talcum powder faces, okay? Don't. We were just standing there on the shores of India, and suddenly this boat rocks up, and we were like, oh, hello, white boat people. Can we interest you in a table for one? Oh, they just walked right in. Look at that, Raj. Wow, the confidence of a white prince. Make yourselves at home. They've taken my home. Okay, shit. What are they doing to the place? Okay. 200 years later, they're like, it's getting a bit late, and we are a bit hungry, but you have sent all of our food to England. The British were like, don't worry, we're going to leave. And they left. They cut up the country before they left, killed like 500,000 people instantly, displaced 1.5 million people, drained India of $1 trillion, which now makes it impossible for India to ever come out of poverty. And they left. Hell. All right, fast forward. 1947, the British announced they're leaving India, and they leave. A couple months later, they announced they're going to leave Palestine, and a couple months later, they leave, and then they hand it over to a group of Israeli militias and the UN, who then eventually cut up Palestine, create Israel at the expense of 750,000 Palestinians being violently expelled from their land, ethnically cleansed. 530 villages were razed to the ground. It's called the Nakba for Palestinians, which means the catastrophe. And now Israel occupies 78% of original Palestine, the only country in the world with no actual boundaries, because it just keeps expanding. All because of the British. They gave away something that they stole.